Hello, I am Moodida, and welcome back to Satisfactory. I recently gave a world tour of my most recent playthrough where I load balanced every factory. I'll put the link to that video in the description if you want to check it out. Today I thought it would be fun to take a peek at my very first save before it's completely broken and see how much, or how little, I've improved at this game in 3,000 hours of early access. I'll warn you now, I tried to avoid clipping, especially belts, but ooh boy, there is some spaghetti. I haven't played this save in about a year and a half, and it has about 580 hours on it. I created a new save so I could start in the hub and turn on fly mode while leaving the last save without the advanced game settings turned on. Okay, starting off in the hub, obviously things look fairly normal. We're still on the ground out here, but as soon as we take a few steps forward, oh my, what is going on? Well, this is where I started everything, was out here in the Grassy Fields, and as it's going to become pretty evident pretty quickly, I wasn't big on deleting things, which at the time was a horrible decision. Now I get to look back and, it's kind of fun being able to look at just this nightmare that I created to begin this game. Yep. If this looks familiar, let me know. So I think I pretty much just plopped down this hub right where I started the game because iron was really close and then I just never really moved it. So even in the early game, I obviously had to play with some jump pads and that really didn't work very well. Well, there's a lot of things in this world that are definitely not perfected. Let's put it that way. So yeah, I don't even know what most of this stuff is doing. I guess we've got screws here. At least there's an overflow. Nothing's running. I don't even know why. I don't think I made most things to keep running. I'm not really sure. There's just random stuff everywhere, to be honest. You can see I try to play around with a lot of things. I do have one lizard dargo. Oh, thanks. This and this nightmare below here were the first bigger factories that I decided to expand with. So I think these are making, I think I did rotors or something, and this just seemed so huge when I built it, and now when I'm back over here, wow, this thing it's really not that big, but at the time this thing was a giant factory that I built. Yeah, we got rotors coming over to here, and then I built this thing to keep making more of the random parts. I think I expanded over here for the copper parts, never put a roof on here. There's a lot of half-finished projects in this world, I think. Oh, cool. We've got some overflow sink going on here. Nice. Who knows? Oh, some AI limiters. Okay, just one random machine to make those. I think this was just like storage slash feeding the rest of this factory. Not a good setup at all, but I think this factory made just random things. Clearly something used to be here. I think I was making ammo, sulfur, coal. No, what was this? Oh, circuit boards were completely full up on. Oh yeah, because I think on the top was, yeah, oh, just a floating belt of smart plating. Nice. Oh yes, we're making computers, heavy modular frames, some modular engines. Wow, this is just so random. This is where I started to realize that you need a lot more space for trains, and yeah. Well, big straightaways were great. Any of my intersections, I think, in this world were a horrible nightmare. So I think to build this, I built this truck stop, and then I was loading up my truck, and I would drive it out to different places. Or I don't know. This was so long ago now. I've played in so many different worlds. I think this was just more concrete. Yeah, this was concrete that I had just going to a truck station because I was going through just tons and tons of concrete building out this railway. I guess this spaghetti could be worse. Genuinely not really sure what's going on in this world. I don't know if I've ever seen production. Did I manually pause this? I just need to turn it on. Oh. Is that because my power grid is awful? No, I actually have a lot of power in this world. What the heck? I genuinely don't remember so much about this. Well, let's continue the tour. Let's go see what this monstrosity is up here. What is that down there? Alright, so we're using the water. Interesting way to set up my pipes, but you know. I was still learning. Yep, definitely some yellow lights. Not surprised. Alright, so we're making lots of copper sheets here. Alright, and this copper is very inconsistently going up here. Okay, so we've got a very unfinished factory. One floor looks somewhat done, and then I slapped on this floor. Sweet. Alright, so we're making circuit boards and aluminum casing and silica. Okay. Well, this floor doesn't look so bad. Alright, we're making radio control units here. This is a fun little setup. Alright, come over to here. Alright, now I've got some drone ports. Well, clearly radio control units, we jumped ahead a lot, and this is when I started to figure out somewhat how to build, I guess. This right here, this is from the very early stages. I remember coming out here to get the quartz and silica, and oh, this brings back memories. Because I built this ridiculous floating series of ramps to get all the way up here. Because I wasn't using mod and advanced game settings didn't exist yet. And I had started to build this, and I built the walls, and then I ran out of material, so I had to run all the way back. And then when I came all the way back, I think there was 1 or 2 of the green spiders trapped inside my factory, and then they jumped from there on to here, I'm pretty sure, and just scared the living daylights out of me. Ah, good times. Here we are at everybody's favorite lake, where I think everybody started off with a coal plant. And I guess it's somewhat organized. I think this may be because I somewhat redid it after the very first time. I'm not sure. I can't quite remember. I think this is a whole bunch of backup. Yeah, fuel generators. Still have some fuel, some backup fuel just in case I needed to restart this thing. And yeah, just got a handful of coal gens. This doesn't even look like it's the right amount. Well, I guess I'm only missing 4, so maybe it's the correct amount. Oh boy, look at those pipes. Ooh. Some of this is ugly. Yeah, it looks right. Moved to foundations and walls, but still haven't really put roofs on anything. We were making baby steps in our factory building. So this, I think, is where my very first steel plant was. Oh man, look at this nightmare of belts. Oh boy. Oh, that's right. I have just a nightmare of a bus going from the oil field out there all the way to my starting factory. And that's what all of this is, this horrible nightmare. Oh, that's awesome. I totally forgot about that. Yep, so that's what I did here. What is all this? Oh, apparently I loaded up coal. Go to a train. Oh, okay, so we're taking the copper, iron, and coal over there by train to do my electromagnetic control rods. That's fun. Oh yeah, I put a hyper tube. I did like hyper tubes a lot in this first save. Oh man, look at this. This definitely looks like a first save. I think it took me a really long time to realize that there were double ramps in the Awesome Shop. Man, dude, the single ramps just look super ugly like this. But I think this was my first Gaterium factory. Man, I remembered it being bigger. And then this hypertube, which, wow, I thought this was a good idea. Interesting. Alright, let's see how... I guess it is effective at going. I think going the other way, it's not so great. Alright, so this was... I spent a lot of time over here. I think it was the first time where I actually just decided to mass delete an entire factory and rebuild it. Because once you get those alternate recipes, it really does kind of feel like a waste of oil when you look back at some of the first ones. So I think, what are we making here? Rubber and plastic. I think these are making, okay, we're making the fuel with the diluted fuel recipe. Nice, okay. Alright, so it's a decent setup that's, you know, still got some yellow lights going. And then this one, well, this looks cool. Oh yeah, so I mean, I tried to put a roof on here. Why didn't I just make it flat? I don't know what I was doing. Clearly, some things are straight and then I just gave up, and then other things are not. So we're making plastic, rubber, maybe even package fuel. Yeah, package fuel. Cool. I think this is this all turbo fuel? Oh yeah, I decided to make turbo fuel. Alright. So this was my first turbo fuel plant. Oh, not actually that bad. I decided to spend at least a little time trying to decorate, and clearly it's finished. Oh boy. So what does it look like? How do I... Oh, who cares? Let's just delete something. Oh, and there's an underside to this, I know it. Where is it? Did I not do anything on it? Oh. Thought I did some of it underneath. I guess not. Oh well. Cool. Oh yeah. And then I've got more fuel over here. So I think... What is this? This is more turbo fuel. Oh yeah, so that was my first go at it, and then I decided, no, let's do more. And I think it runs pretty well. Still didn't nail the getting all of the pipes straight thing, but still a big improvement from the very start. Let's see, what else we got over here. Ah, the first aluminum factory I made. And I was so proud of all of this. I thought this was so cool. And the funny thing was, is then I learned that I'm an idiot and I didn't quite understand the concept. So I didn't realize that you could go from one floor lift all the way to another. Or I guess that's not a floor lift at the bottom. But either way, I could have placed the lift down there on the floor and ran it all the way up to the top floor lift, and it would have been all one. But I didn't know that in the first playthrough, and so I just built them as far as I could, or what I thought I could, and I would build a foundation, put the smallest floor lift I could, and then delete it. And, you know, that was as minimalistic as I thought I could make it. And it was better than having the lifts going back and forth. Yeah, well, you learned. I think on the backside, oh yeah. I wonder if this, does this actually even work? I don't even know. Oh, I guess so. Holy cow, it does. Well, I'll be. I actually did that pretty well. I forgot. So these blueprints of these roads, or whatever they are actually hollow so that I could run the belts underneath and it would be a cool walkway, or you could drive on here. I think I was moving things around by loading up a truck a lot in my first save. And, yeah, it's a cool idea, Man, it used a lot of materials for me rarely ever actually using it for that purpose. But it also kept me away from all the spiders. So that was cool. So this is where I grabbed all the bauxite. Alright, and then let's take a look at the actual factory. So there's that one, and then I obviously grabbed that bauxite there too. And I decided to make a giant glass factory. Alright, so what do we have here? So I think this is where it starts. Yep. There's the bauxite, aluminum scrap. This little, oh yeah, I had made this blueprint, so I was determined to use it even though it didn't quite fit inside of here. But this is making the aluminum ingots. Let's see, down here we're just making aluminum sheets, I think. Oh, here's some of the smelters. Okay. And then I don't have any stairs. I think the only way to get upstairs, I'm not really sure what I was thinking, but for some reason I think I thought that was just a cool look. If you put the power pole at just the right height, only the very top of it would show through, and for some reason I went with that. But yeah, I think this was the first time I did underfloor logistics, and I think it was using mainly blueprints to do it. Let's see, can I tell? No, these are all way too old if they are, I think. Alright, and then upstairs. Why are these different height? Oh, the Mark II's taller. That's funny. Alright, so up here we've got the aluminum casing floor. I really don't remember how I set up so much of this. And this must just take me all the way up. Does this actually work? Oh. Hey, and now we're up here. Well, that's fun. Okay. So close that off. So we've got a friend here. And a storage box and some watchers. So I think this one takes me back to the Grassy Fields. And this one takes me out to the oil area, probably. Let's see. Is there anything right below here that I want to look at? Just a train station picking up some stuff. I really didn't use too much of the desert here. Well, what's this? Oh, we got some roads. I totally forgot I built that. Oh, what is... I vaguely remember this. I don't remember what it makes. Very half-finished building. Okay. I really like trucks. They're fun, but man... Ah, yes. But the reliability, a little questionable at times. How I built this is interesting. Does this go to this? Where is this going? Where are you trying to go? I think he's going back out that way. Alright, let's see. What are we even making here? Well, we got nitrogen, so probably... What? Fuse modular frames? That would make sense. It's probably final product, cooling systems. Okay, probably. Cool. All right, really random design here. And this is, I think, just more parts to feed that one. So let's see. I think this is just making, what are we making here? Oh, doing the pure iron. I so rarely use that recipe. Alright, so this road goes up here. What? Oh, I remember now. Yeah, so my thinking was I was really tired of my starting area. And I grew to never want to go back because of how awful it looked. And I just didn't want to delete it all and rebuild it. Instead, I figured there was just so many nodes all over the place. What I could do is just start over. And I could just make a dedicated storage facility somewhere else and then just kind of forget the Grassy Fields even existed. I would just kind of move on. So that's what this was. This was my attempt to create a storage area. Okay. So I didn't label anything, but apparently I got a bunch of the stuff in here already. Let's take a look. What was I... Okay. I don't remember. I guess the trucks and trains, I guess, are bringing them in, I think, on somewhat sushi belts, and then we're using smart splitters to split off the different items. Kind of a weird setup, I'm not gonna lie. Don't remember exactly. Well, yeah, working with the train. Oh, I guess I didn't completely avoid all the clipping. Pretty sure my theory was that's in the logistics floor, no one will ever see this, and then I decided to make a YouTube video. Oh, and on the top I decided to throw down a few batteries in a super consistent logical order. What in the world was I doing? Alright, I think I just had some temporary... Oh, yeah, some temporary machines making filters and... Oh, I was making filters and turbo motors. Okay. So then we've got our hub. Ah, this is where a whole bunch of it was coming in. That's right. Okay, so yeah, a bunch of the stuff was coming in by train. And then I think other stuff is, yeah, coming in from the trucks that were going up and down below. And then I just put some hypertube cannons all over the place up here. Ah yes, my really smooth blending of different materials. Well, I do remember that when I decided to remake this, I needed to create more of the starter items, and so I decided to make a huge steel factory, and this was one of the first ones where I was really proud of the way that it came out and the way that it looks. I played around with some signs, and I thought this was just really cool. Ah yes, got steel. Wow, I forgot how green I decided to make this factory. Holy cow, I do not remember it being like this. Ooh boy. Well, let's not stay in here very long. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of machines making all the steel things. What was I thinking? I guess I should have known from out here. It does look pretty green. I remember this factory well. I think this is the factory that caused me to take my first break from the game. I spent so much time here and it's not even that great. I had this bright idea that it was time to really scale things up for the end game. And so I was going to make 100 crystal oscillators. And I don't think I had the alternate recipe. So this factory has 100 manufacturers in here, all making crystal oscillators. Clearly it didn't get up to 100% efficiency. Nor was it completely finished in the build. Ah yes, my super random storage system here. We've got one container here, just an extra one here for some reason, and then the rest going out to a drone port, and then sinking the large majority of it. Let's take a look at the rest. Alright, so this is, I guess, where it starts. So we've got the deuterium, the copper, the iron, then turns into all the wire, quick wire, iron plates, quartz crystal. I thought this place was even bigger. Oh, because it is. I forgot there's another floor even down here, isn't there? Oh, just one little section. What a random factory I built. But it was at least somewhat decorated, so that's cool. So as it turns out, those initial factories weren't enough. So I came up to the red forest, or jungle, and created a bunch more. So I think everything's just getting belted over. All the bauxite and coal. Let's see. I don't remember which recipe I went with, actually. Let me use some fun signs. Alright. Ooh. Ooh, sulfuric acid. I forgot. Okay, so this is what I went with. The instant scrap. I totally forgot that I did that. I love how this factory just doesn't have a back wall. Alright, so let's see. We've got the sulfuric acid. Okay. Let's see what's... Oh, well, there's... Oh, there. Whatever. Oh my. Okay, so it's a little bit more cramped. Alright, well, I guess it looks pretty standard down here. We've got a little bit more space over here for all of the belts. Okay. That's fun. At least it's somewhat organized. Alright, and then all of that ends up going to this fun waterfall. And then those all come up here. And then I decided I was going to build some fun towers. Use some blueprints and just stack them on top of each other really quickly. So I guess some things never change. But yeah, I think these are designed so scrap plugs in there, and then all the ingots come out here. And then all of those got sent down to either, well, looks like most of these are going to sinks right now. Or trains? I think most of these are going to a train. Spent all that time on the factory, and then I just decided to leave this like this. Yeah, sounds about right. So I think this is just more power that I don't remember building out here in the blue crater. Alright, we've got a nice floating train station. And rubber, okay. Putting the rubber on the train, and we're making fuel. Last thing. Alright, and for some reason, I bet you one of these things is on grid and the other one isn't. That was an interesting choice. So, water extractors down there. And then, okay. For some reason, so I guess I walled them off. I guess that was an easy way to put power connections. But, oh, okay, nice. Gravity feed. Ooh, found a nitrogen node. Where does this go? Oh my. What was I building here? Nitric acid, that's fun. Don't really get used for very much. What in the world? Oh, it's kind of fun. Okay. So, heavy modular frames. Oh yeah. I definitely got inspired by somebody's YouTube videos, I think. And I went to town on the tower design blueprints. These kind of blueprints are great because once you design them, you just bam, 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 slap them on top of each other, and then you just lift to lift, connect them up, and yeah, it can be pretty quick and easy. Oh, okay. So we were making pressure conversion cubes here. Nice. All right. So let's see. That was the heavy modular frames. This must be the fused modular frames. Okay. And then the last building here. Like, have a door to get in there? Oh, there it is. Okay, and then this one is making the pressure conversion cubes. Wow, I decided to make a lot. Wait, are these all at 100%? They are. How many am I making? I'm making 30? Seems ambitious. Okay, well, that's what the rest of this does. I did like how clean this ended up being because you kept everything within the tower, and then you could do all of the logistics from tower to tower underneath. Oh wow. I even started load balancing in my very first playthrough. I'm so proud. Although this is horrifically ugly. Man, okay, let's not look at that anymore. Right here at the edge of the swamp where all the quartz nodes are, that I think all of these are the ones that are getting moved. Clearly, not great at lining things up. And I think this is just making quartz and silica? Well, yeah, I don't know what else it would be making. I love when the trees just regrow straight through the factories. It's kind of funny. More towers, but with less walls. I guess I didn't feel like making it solid windows? I'm not really sure, but yeah, I think most of these are the same, where it's just 2 machines per floor, and then that way you can go kind of back and forth with the splitters and mergers up and down all the floors, and they stack really easily. And then I'm gonna guess all the logistics are down here, right? Yeah, okay. So I think this factory is making, yes. I remember being really proud of this right here. So this giant wall actually probably make more sense to just see it from the other side, wouldn't it? Or no? No, windows are really kind of hard to see through sometimes. Oh. This is just floors of manufacturers making batteries. I was really proud of this design and how it came out. Just because I wanted to see lots of things moving all over the place. So those all come up here and feed the drones. And this section's just making all of the plastic. Where does this go again? Oh. Aha. There's another one. So, another half-finished project. I wasn't great at completely finishing one. It was just, everything's just always so exciting. I just wanted to move on to the next thing. So we're making fuel and decided to make the fuel up here using the diluted fuel recipe. Good old blenders, make things a lot smaller. And then that way I could feed it down below. And then I think each one of these is being fed off of like one pipe. Oh yeah. I don't know why I did it here. I put the walkways like over. Why didn't I just do all of this on this floor? Bringing it down here to bring it back up seems like a really horrible design. But, you know, I was learning. But given all the power we've seen, that doesn't actually explain all of the power that I'm making. And I think for that we need to go out to the desert. So when I loaded up this save, I was actually on the other side of this canyon, and I was so confused because I did not remember building that factory at all. And this was part of it. This right here is making, what am I making? Turbo fuel, packaged turbo fuel and black powder, and then putting them on trucks, which, I mean, sure, parts of this look cool, but man, this is such a horrible truck design. What was I gonna have them do? Run straight off the edge? I'm guessing they were supposed to pull in and then back out and turn around. That's a horrible design. And then the trucks come here, and then again, oh, I guess tractors. Oh, maybe it's because I'm using tractors and they can actually turn around in a pretty small area. Alright, maybe it's not as horrible. It's still a bad design. Who am I kidding? Alright, so I think I decided I wanted a weapons factory, and that's what this whole thing is. And then, yeah, this is where I loaded the game, was right here, and I was just so confused. Like, I didn't remember ever using this color. I didn't remember any of this factory at all. But I think that was the idea. Have I labeled these? Oh, okay. So, I labeled the one I was using already. Batteries in. Okay, well, you know, I was halfway there. The batteries. Oh, the batteries are being fed under here. Oh, that's fun. Huh. Cool. Well, anyway, so yeah, I was making weapons. So now I've got tons of rifle ammo. Hooray. But when I was over here, I got a glimpse of those guys, which you really can't mistake from pretty far away. I had completely forgotten that I had built a nuclear power plant in my first save. So I think we've got the sulfuric and nitric acid being built over here. And lots of silica. Yep. And I think this was... Oh yeah, this is like the final sink. I'm pretty sure. He's even... Oh, they are running. Okay. I think I remember bringing in the uranium by drone was a horrible idea, and it was kind of a pain. Just once you want to move a decent amount, then it's really hard. Ah, yes. And the joys of manifolds with nuclear is... Oh boy. Look at this craziness. And what was I thinking? I mean, there's not clipping, but that's just... Oh, that is so ugly. Alright, and I brought all the water. Oh, that's right. Way over here. Just so many water extractors. Ah, 200%. And this is the factory to make everything. So we've got our huge rows of manufacturers making the fuel rods. So what are these doing? The encased uranium cells. I don't... Oh, and some random stuff down here. Okay, so we've got... Oh. A little setup for nukes. Nice. Forgot I set that up. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, so I made my... I has nukes. And this is... Oh, I think I was supposed to drop... Yeah, I think I drop off the AI limiters, the smokeless powder, and the novelists, and then it would spit out nukes for me. I think is the way this is supposed to be set up. Could probably have used some better labeling. Let's see, and a bunch of the items... Oh yeah, a bunch of the items are being made right there. Like I think the steel beams and case industrial beams and that sort of a thing. I think this is also making something. Is this the quick wire? I think this is all the quick wire. Looks like quick wire. Wow, I'm impressed. I mean, it's definitely not running at 100% efficiency, but I totally forgot that I actually did nuclear. Ah, yes. This was the factory where I decided to redo all of the electronics. So I think pretty much everything is being made here and going to that new storage facility that I had made. So these are trains. I don't know if they're bringing things in or only taking things out. I don't know. Then in here we've got some stacks of machines. So this was an interesting design. Oh, that's why it's so thick. I use the full frame. Kind of a weird look, I'm not gonna lie. Just doesn't quite look right. But, well, that's what I went with. So we've got stacks of machines. And then on the top floor, more stacks of machines. I even did it with manufacturers. Isn't that fun? Why is this? Oh. Yeah, I should have used lifts. There's definitely worse looking things in this save. I think this is just making all the plastic that I needed for all the electronics. Yeah, it looks like it. Oh, and apparently I'm making packaged fuel. It's probably for trucks or something. I sure used more than I remembered. Well, I think that is the majority of things in this world. I'm sure there's probably random little things that I missed in here. You know, this was a really fun trip down memory lane. I think it's pretty cool that, well, I hope you can see that there's a pretty decent improvement from the very fresh beginnings in the Grassy Fields to the end game here. And then hopefully you can still notice at least a little bit of an improvement from this end game to my current play. Hopefully I will actually put roofs on all of my projects for the next playthrough, and we'll actually completely wrap up the whole factory before moving on. 1.0 is right around the corner, so look forward to that, and thanks for watching.